Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Ukrainian Crisis Media Center continues its work, and in the framework of the pilot project Spokesman of Peaceful Life, we are going to speak about Donbas universities. Before the conflict in the territory of Lugansk and Donetsk region, there were 43 universities, and most of these universities are in the occupied territories. And 16 universities of Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast were forced to leave the territory, and they were transferred to Vinnytsia, Kryvyi Rog, Nikolaev, Severodonetsk, Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, and Kharkiv. And 36,000 teachers and professors went to these cities with our universities. Mr. Uzhchenko, vice rector of Shevchenko Lugansk National University, and also Oleksandr Babichev, vice rector of Shevchenko Lugansk National University, Gryniuk, PhD in law, professor, rector of Donetsk National University. Today we are going to speak about the problems of these universities and about the teaching process in these universities. First, please speak slowly because we have simultaneous translation. And we are starting with Dmitry. I'm going to start. I'm going to tell about our university before the military actions. And Lugansk National University is going to celebrate 95 years. The university prepared many specialists in different spheres of science who work in different countries of the world. And the university, first these were courses, and then our university became one of the leaders, and in 1993, Lugansk University got the title of National University and was nominated in international ratings. It got many awards from and the Grand Prix of international exhibitions. The university was in top 20 among Ukrainian universities, and even in 2014, the university got 25th position in the national rating. And so we see that we are trying to continue our traditions that were formed during many years. And our university is the oldest education institution in our oblast, and the only university that was underwent the procedure of assessment by European experts. And in 2014, in October, by order of the minister, our institution was transferred to Starobilsk, where we had an affiliate, and we now work in these premises. And there were many difficulties, and the university was able to save all the stuff and to continue its work. And we train specialists and bachelors and masters, and in the university we have more than 9,000 students. So university survived, and now it is one of the biggest universities in Ukraine. If we are speaking about statistics, usually there are 3,000-4,000 students in many universities, and we were able to provide different forms of training, and we use distance learning technologies, and we worked hard in this direction. We were one of the first universities who provided training in such direction. We developed many different distance training courses, and each subject is accompanied by the distance learning technologies, and this is not only for the period of evacuation, but also we hope to continue it in future. We will develop our activity in this direction. Dmitry, you have for 3 minutes, and then we will give the floor to your colleague. What are the main problems, and what are the ways how to solve these problems? What did you implement? The most pressing problem for all educational institutions, and it was discussed many times, there are some lack in material basis for the universities, and also the staff of the universities are not compensated for the activity in a proper way. There are 2 hostels, and of course these facilities are not enough for normal activity and organization of the teaching process. And there were also problems with there were no telephone connection. Then we had problems with attracting students from occupied territories. We understand the position of the Ministry of Education. They stand their grounds that we should abide the law, but the situation that now exists, many young people are in controlled territories. We are ready for cooperation, and in cooperation with the Ministry and Verkhovna Rada. The Council of Rectors was created for the institutions in exile, and we hope for cooperation with the Verkhovna Rada and other bodies to solve our problems. And it's a perspective for us to to provide quality education for young people. And now I give the floor to your colleague Oleksandr. Oleksandr,
good afternoon. I would like to add what Dmytro was talking about, the social monitoring, two questions which perhaps should be raised, or two issues. The situation which we found ourselves in Starobin, as compared to what we had, 3,500 beds in our hostel, we have about 400 now. This is one of the most difficult problems we faced at the beginning, and the very beginning of our stay here. But the biggest problem is the issue of crossing the border between the contact line and the stability. Our students are always threatened by different kind of dangers. We had to resolve different problems for the adaptation when coming to this town. How to behave in case of shooting when crossing the contact line, etc. But the most important thing is that the top priority directions of the social humanitarian work for the students in our university by a special decision of the academic council was the education of let's say in bringing up our students in the spirit of patriotism and the values of our country, preservation of the development of the corporate culture based on the best traditions and achievements of our university. Also, would like to mention that today we have all the opportunities here in the Starobil territory to bring up the patriots of Ukraine. We have a chance to communicate with the ATO fighters, with those who were participants in the Maidan events, and there are quite a few here of those, and our students have the chance to get the information, true information, what was happening in Ukraine, and also to determine their stance or position in our life regarding our today's life. Also would like to draw attention to the fact that the majority of students today who live in Lugansk, of course, they are threatened, their lives are jeopardized. Actually, they tried to bring the kind of brainwashing attempts, and we try to influence those students. Of course, there is a special structure which takes care of that, but I believe that the information policy of our country is not sufficient today, and that's why we are trying to do everything we can to disseminate our comments and our evaluations of the events taking place today, starting from the summer time when we had to issue different diplomas and the university certificates, etc., etc. Also, I would like to mention that today university does not get any assistance if we are talking about their material basis enhancement. We are working tete-a-tete on our own with different foundations, and the majority of those are foreign funds and foundations, and unfortunately we do not have good results. The university is a very complicated system which requires constantly, let's say, the updating. I'm talking about the replacement or the replacement of our old computers, and everything requires the public or the governmental assistance and help. And we hope that this situation will start to, different authorities will start to help our universities like ours. Thank you. And now the floor is given to Ivan Gryniuk, rector of the Donetsk National University, Gryniuk. Mr. Gryniuk, do you copy us? Yes, I do. You have 5 to 6 minutes maximum at your disposal. Well, I would like to say that that we, like our colleagues from Lugansk, we have been staying in the city of Vinnytsia for a year now, and we are working at 100% capacity. It's very important that Vinnytsia is located, about 1,000 kilometers away from Donetsk, and of course we lost a lot of our students. Just for the sake of comparison, in 2014 October we have the 13,000 students. Now we have only 4,000 students. And today we have some kind of disproportion between if we are talking about the number of the professors and number of students, because about 70% of our professors and lecturers moved here together with our education establishment to the city of Vinnytsia. Of course, we face the same problems as our colleagues. We have to renovate our logistical base or material and technical base, but we understand only too well that we can't expect big assistance on the part of the government. That's why we work with different donors, different funds and foundations. We try to implement some of the projects in order to renovate or replenish our logistics base, and I believe that the results we achieved this year actually testify to the fact that we are on the correct road and we work hard, and perhaps we need another year to completely renovate our technical material basis. We have the full-fledged curricular on educational process, but we do not forget about those students who, for different reasons, cannot join us today in Vinnytsia. That's why we organize for them an individual schedule of their education or the curriculum, and we try to use the distant learning techniques, and also we work in the online educational training mode, and we have all the necessary opportunities. We have developed necessary respective training and educational courses. We have internet. We have the module system which we use to work with our students. A lot of our students today, actually, who entered our university coming from the central regions of Ukraine. So today's students contingent actually covers almost all the regions of Ukraine. Speaking about the problems, of course, I would echo what has been said by my colleagues. The biggest problem is the social one, providing the housing for our professors and employees, and the problem for accommodation related to the accommodation of our students. Of course, we cannot resolve this problem separately, each education establishment on its own. That's why we need kind of target-oriented governmental program, which would allow us, if it's implemented, to at least partially take care of this problem. The government has to understand today that youth is our future, and the educational establishments is the base or the basis for the future development of our country. That is why the attitude towards the educational establishments must be more specific, and more attention should be paid. You know that we are working on they are working now on the draft budget for 2016. So I would like that the cabinet of ministers provided a separate line of the budget to allocate necessary funds to support those educational establishments which had to move from to zone elsewhere. So this is the major problem that has to be resolved today. Thank you, Chairman, Mr. Roman, Ruslan, and Oleksandr Dmytro. I have a question. We would like to hear more about your cooperation with international universities. Do you have any kind of this cooperation? Maybe you plan to do something about that? Maybe some kind of exchange, students exchange between your universities and your universities of other countries. Roman, Alexander, we're talking about the cooperation with the international donors. What kind of donors you are talking about? What countries do they represent? In our university, we had several programs. We signed different agreements, and we had realistic programs of the dual diplomas and certificates. For example, many of our students were issued to Polish university diplomas in addition to our diploma. There was a special program. They were organized and held by the European Union. We had to conclude some agreements, and there was a number of other universities today. Of course, partially we lost those contacts, but we tried to re-establish those. We are in the process of negotiations with a number of the higher educational establishments, not only in Europe, and we are talking about the signing of the similar agreements with some other universities. We have never stopped this kind of efforts, and we are planning to further develop those contacts. Thank you. Mr. Roman, you have the floor. I would like to say that we are implementing several international projects today. One of the most powerful of those is the project supported by the International Reconnaissance Foundation, the development of Donetsk National University. We are approaching the completion of this project. We hope that this will have, we'll see its continuation. We managed, based on the cost allocated by this fund, to replenish, to increase our material and technical basis. They allocated 7 million hryvnia, thanks to which we managed to create most advanced computer laboratories. Also for our natural and science departments, we also established our the respective laboratories equipped with modern equipment. And we prepared the program for creating the linguistic laboratory for the linguophonic equipment, and we also are working now on the academic mobility programs. So today, actually, owing to the support of this fund, our students and professors went to Košice, to the Czech Republic, where they take part in international conference. A team of our professors work now in the Central European University. I'm now visiting the Central European University. We actually prepared to send a group of our lecturers to Poznan, to Poland, and there are a lot of several more programs we are talking more related to academic model. Several foreign lecturers and professors work today in Vinnytsia together with ours. They deliver lectures to our students. Also, thanks to the assistance of the Renaissance, fund, we can invite different experts in different spheres of knowledge to work with our students. In addition to the above-mentioned fund, Renaissance Fund, we also work today with the embassy, U.S. Embassy, with the Czech Republic Embassy in Ukraine. Yesterday we signed a big memorandum with the agents, the Czech Republic Development Agency, and already they provided rendered some assistance to us. They provide us with 26 modern computers to equip some of our laboratories. We also carry out cooperation with our international partners. Thank you, Mr. Roman. There is a number of questions from our colleagues, journalists. Okay, should you have any questions, please introduce yourselves and address your question to some of the speakers. We have a small clarification. We have on our side a question, Mr. Man, to you. They're talking about the student campus in Vinnytsia, which is supported by the Norwegian government. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. So far, this is the idea. Recently, the ambassador of Norway to Ukraine visited us, and we actually discussed with him the issue, let's say, related to the construction of this kind of the students' campus in the city of Vinnytsia, and now this issue is being discussed and considered by the government of Norway. I believe in a month from now we'll know specifically whether Norway can provide at least partial support to us. This is a kind of a big mega project, so we'll be aware whether the Norwegian government will be able to support us in implementing this idea. And now we have some questions from our audience. Sergei Malerchuk, Ukrainian Crisis Media Center, UCMC. I have a question addressed to two rectors and pro-rectors. Would you please tell me, do you continue the process of moving some of your faculty, professors, lecturers from Lugansk and Donetsk? Do you can maintain the contacts with them? And what happened, or what can you say about those education establishments which remained in Donetsk or Lugansk? And what kind of legal actions you are actually entertaining against those defectors, so to say? I suggest that maybe Mr. Dmytro can start, and then your colleagues will continue. As for the faculties who remained, I mean the professors and the lecturers who remained in Lugansk, we do not maintain any kind of contacts with them. Today, as for the students, yes, every day we receive the applications from the students to restore them, reinstate them in their in our education establishment. This is a kind of continuous process. As for the professors and the lecturers, we do not have similar process. They do not join us. And again, repeat myself, we do not have any kind of contacts with them or legal relationship with them. No. Thank you. I would like to say that, yes, in our case, we do not support any kind of work contact with our colleagues in Donetsk. We do not hire them here. As for students, yes, indeed, the students contact us, and we work with them in order to reinstate them and give them a chance to continue their education or their training in this or another department. As for the professors, lecturers who remained in Donetsk, we are talking about those who supported the idea of creating of this so-called Donetsk People's Republic, or let's say joining Russia, accession to Russia. And those professors who did not support that idea, they are either with us, or they found a job in other educational establishments of Ukraine. That's why we do not maintain any contacts with them. Though, indeed, a question arises what to do with that further on, because this problem of reintegration is on the agenda, but this is a big question mark about that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dmytro Alexander. This brings us to the end of our press conference. Thank you for being with us, and we hope that we are going to maintain contacts with you in future as well. Thank you. And thanks, colleagues, for being with us. Our next press conference within the project, the Speaker of the Peaceful Life, will take place next Tuesday.